I'm Math Dad,
I'm Science Mom.
and today we're getting into some applications of division.
Word problems? Oh boy.
Hoo-hoo, indeed. But before we get to any work, let's go through our warm-up problem where we were trying to get the number 6 using 5, 8, 4, and 2.
I did it. 5 plus, and then I thought, well, if I could just do 5 plus 1, it'll work. So the way I got 1 was 8 divided by 4 times 2, which is also 8.
Nicely done, Science Mom. I came up with a couple others as well. That was a nice one. What about if we did 8 minus 2, so that's the number 6, right? So if I can multiply that by 1, then we're home free. And to write the number 1, I'm just going to do 5 minus 4. So 6 times 1 is 6. Another way of doing this, what if we were to do 5 times 2, that's 10, and then if we subtract 8, but then add 4, that would get us to 6 as well.
Very nice.
Yeah, so if you managed to make the number 6, let us know down in the comments. All right, Science Mom, how do we find the number of weeks in 1 year? So we would need a few facts in order to do this, right?
There are 365 days in a year.
Okay, so 365 days. I like that. And what other information do we know about weeks?
There are 7 days in a week.
This is in a year. There's 7 days in a week. So if we were to stretch out all 365 days in the year, we're trying to chunk it into 7-day periods, right? We're trying to divide it up into 7-day periods. Yeah, so the word divide kind of tells us what we need to do in this problem. So we need 365 divided by 7. And that will give us the number of weeks, the number of 7-day chunks. Okay, but to do 365 divided by 7, we probably don't know that one off the top of our head. So we need to use long division. So 7 is going into 365. So 7 goes 0 times into 3, but it does go into 36. How many times? 5 times?
That's right, because 5 times 7 is 35.
Okay. So then we subtract. 36 minus 35 is a 1. We bring down the 5. How many times does 7 go into 15, Science Mom?
2 times 7 is 14.
So 2 times, all right. And then with 1 day left over. Ooh, and then 7 doesn't go into 1. We've kind of reached the end of this part.
So we have a remainder of 1.
Yeah, so this was 52 with a remainder of 1. Okay, so what is the answer to our question here?
There are 52 weeks in a year.
Okay, but what does that remainder of 1 mean?
Plus 1 day. There's 1 extra day.
Oh, because there's 52 weeks plus 1 day in a typical year. And there's always a leap year.
Which would have 2 extra days.
There's 366 days in a leap year. But what this means is that every year, there's 52 weeks plus 1 extra day. So that means that the day of the week always shifts by 1 each year.
Oh.
Except on leap years when it shifts by 2 days.
So if my birthday's on a Tuesday this year, it'll be on a Wednesday next year?
Right.
Cool.
Bab wants to read a 328-page book and a 233-page book in the next 8 days.
She wants to read both of them in the next 8 days?
Yep, she's got a deadline. She's got to get them all read. So how many pages does Bab need to read each day to complete both books?
Ooh, I know how to set this up.
Okay.
So we need to add the pages. So if we add the pages, 328 plus 233, that is going to be 561 pages, but they have to be read in 8 days. So now it's just a division problem. We need to divide 561 by 8.
That's right. The chunks of, well, the 8 different chunks, and we need to know the size of those chunks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're doing long division because we might not know this one off the top of our heads. All right.
So 8 goes into 56 7 times. I know that because 8 times 7 is 56. So I can just write 7 here. 7 times 8 is 56. We get nothing when we subtract that. We bring down the 1. And can I just say we have a remainder of 1 now?
So there will be a remainder of 1. So what's your answer?
Because it can't be 7 pages a day, because that would only be 56 pages in total. So my answer needs to be 70.
Right. So the algorithm, you should have said, all right, how many times does 8 go into 1? Well, it goes in 0 times.
Ah.
And 8 times 0 is 0, and then subtract, and then we get down to our remainder of 1. Yeah, so Babs should read 70 or even 71 pages each day. Then she'll get all the books done in 8 days. All right, Science Mom, what 2 things can you never eat for breakfast?
Lunch and dinner?
Lunch and dinner. Nicely done. All right. Clucky lays an egg every 3 days. So how many eggs can Clucky lay in 50 days?
So if every 3 days there's an egg, to find out how many eggs are going to be laid in 50 days, I just need to divide 50 by 3, right?
That's right. So think about stringing out 50 days in a row, and every 3 days, so in 3-day chunks, you're getting an egg. So we're basically saying, yeah, how many 3-day chunks are in 50 days?
So 50 divided by 3, the first thing I look at is our 5. How many times does 3 go into 5? Just 1 time. 1 times 3 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. And then I carry my 0 down. How many times does 3 go into 20? 6, because 6 times 3 is 18. And then I have a remainder of 2.
Okay, so what's the interpretation of all this work you've done?
So there will be 16 eggs plus an egg that's 2/3 of the way cooked inside the chicken.
You don't cook them inside the chicken, Science Mom. I'm surprised you didn't know that. Yeah, so we're 1 day away from getting a 17th egg.
Okay, so there will be 16 eggs, and then on day 51, there will be 17 eggs.
Right. So if I had to pick just one number, I'd probably say, Clucky can lay 16 eggs in 50 days. Eliza makes 36 banana muffins for her family of 5. How many muffins should each person get? This is a very important question because we have a family of 5 and Eliza likes to make banana muffins and a certain teenage boy of ours likes to eat more than his share, and then there's no banana muffins for Math Dad. All right, so how would we answer this question, Science Mom?
We would just do 36 divided by 5, which I don't even need to get out the long division for because I know that 5 times 7 is 35, and there's going to be a remainder of 1.
So that's 7 with a remainder of 1. Okay, so you took the 36 and you divided it equally between 5 people. Mm-hmm. I like that. What's the interpretation of this answer?
The interpretation of this is that if everybody eats their muffins quickly, each person can get 7 and the teenage boy can get 8.
Each person should get 7 muffins with 1 left over.
1 left over.
That's right.
Yeah, but if you don't eat your muffins quickly, our teenage son will eat them all. It's happened before.
Too many times. It's a rough life, Science Mom. A special thanks to our patrons who make these videos possible. If you'd like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/sciencemom and join us.
Work hard, grow smart, and we'll see you soon.